The lesson activity in Moodle is probably the most complex activity and what probably takes the longest to set up out of anything. However, it's arguably one of the more powerful tools in Moodle because it's customizable and the student can go through it in their own path and in their own time. So let me show you how to get this set up. I already have some resources open here because you do need quite a lot of resources to make the lesson work. So I'm going to go to Added Activity and Lesson. So we have to give the lesson a name, and I'm going to call this 3 branches of government. Now you can put a time limit on the lesson if you want to. You don't have to. Maximum number of answers and branches. I advise people just always set this as 20. You don't have to use all 20, but if you don't have it set to 20, then you're limited into the number of branches and answers that you can use, and I'll show you where that comes into play later. Practice lesson, yes or no. Practice lesson means that it's not graded. Again, if you ever have any questions about anything on here, click on the question mark and you'll be able to see what that actually means. But this means it's not graded. Custom scoring, yes. That means that the score is based on their performance inside the lesson. Maximum grade for the lesson, if you want this to be graded, you can set points for it, anything up to 100. I'll just set this to 10. Student can retake the lesson, yes or no. Handling of retakes, do you use the maximum or do you use the mean to be able to calculate the grade? And display ongoing score, yes or no. So this gives the student kind of a running total. Allow student review. This is the flow control. This is how the student can actually get through the lesson. If you want the lesson to be kind of prescribed, then you want student review to be set to no. Display review button. This allows a student to kind of move back and forth between the lesson. The way I'm going to show you how to do the lesson, you can actually leave both of these set to no because we'll build in the navigation for the student. It's a little more. It makes it a little easier for the student to navigate, and I'll show you how this works. Maximum number of attempts, 1. Action after correct answer, normal, just follow a lesson path. Display default feedback, minimum number of questions, minimum number of cards. We're going to leave those both set to 0 because we don't want to be stuck with any minimums. We want to be able to do what we want to do. Access control, you can password protect the lesson if you want. Dependent on, what you can do here is as you create lessons in your Moodle course, you can make one lesson dependent upon another lesson. So say you do a lesson on, I don't know, anything. We're doing one on the 3 branches of government, so that maybe our next lesson is U.S. geography. So what we can do on here is when we create our U.S. geography lesson, we can make that lesson dependent upon this one, the 3 branches of government. We can make it based on the amount of time they spent in here, whether or not they completed it, and what their score was, or any combination of those 3 just by filling these blocks in. Okay, and so now I'll click Save and Return to Course. That's really all the options that you really need to adjust inside the lesson. And now, again, just like quizzes and questionnaires, 2-step process. So I'll step back here, and now I have a 3 branches of government lesson that I can click into. And I can start adding my pages. My first step for creating my lesson is to always add a branch table right here. And this will be my page title. This will be 3 branches of government overview. The U.S. federal government consists of 3 branches or parts. They are, then I can list them here for them, the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judicial branch. The video below gives a good overview of these 3 branches. Now let me go out to my YouTube site here and grab my embed code for this. back to Moodle, turn on HTML, paste in my video. Now down here, this is where I set up my branches. So I'm going to set one up for the executive branch, the judicial branch, the legislative branch. Now you can also see that it says description, jump, description, jump. We can't do anything with these jumps yet because we don't have these pages set up. So we'll come back to this later. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and click Add Branch Table. This adds the first page to the lesson. Here you can see it right here. Now if I click Preview, this is what it actually looks like to the student, and you can see the buttons down on the bottom. Now right now these buttons don't take the students anywhere because we haven't built those pages yet. So if I'll go back to Edit, and then down here I'm going to add another branch table right here. So I'm going to click Add a Branch Table, and now I'm going to create a branch table for the executive branch. Now I'm going to go here to my information. I'm just going to copy this so I don't have to retype everything. Go back into Moodle. If I get to the right tab, and I'm going to paste this in. There we go. Now, for here, what I'm going to do now, you can see you can make this lesson, you can make these branches go as long as you want. Right now, I'm just going to have the branch go one screen. So this branch on the executive, this is called a branch, but I'm talking about branches of the government too, so I hope I don't say branch too many times. But this particular branch of the lesson, I'm only going to have go one screen. What I'm going to do after this is also have a question come after this. So here is my information on the executive branch. Obviously, I would put more information than just this, or I may have it go 2 or 3 screens long. I may even decide that I want to have screens that explain some of these secretary offices as well, and you can certainly do that. But for right now, the very first jump I'm going to put back in, I'm going to put main menu. And now, since I've already created that first screen, I can select from here 3 branches of government. What this does is if the student clicks the main menu button, it takes them back to that very first screen that has the overview of the 3 branches, and they can choose whichever way they want to go. The next branch will be executive branch quiz. And again, I can't set that up yet because I don't have the pages set up yet. So I'm just going to have 2 branches off of this page. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and click Add Branch Table. And now the second page is added to my lesson. Now my third page will be the question page for this one. So I want to take a question from here. So here we'll ask the students how long a presidential term is. So it's 4 years. So here we're going to do add a question page. Page title. So we'll call this Executive Branch Quiz. And then my page contents will be right here. How long is a term for an elected president? Then we can put our answers in here. 1 year, 2 years. Obviously, this is not the correct answer, so we're not going to give them points for answering that one. 3 years. 4 years. And they will get points for answering that one correctly. Now, again, we can't set up these page jumps yet because they're not set up correctly yet. What I can do is I can put responses in here. So if a student does answer this question, I can have a response set up for them. Okay, so I'm going to have several different answers there, and I'll click Add Question Page. And that adds my question page into here. So the next thing that I want to do is after they answer the question, I need to route them to the next part of the lesson. So if they get the question correct, what I want them to do is I want them to move back here to my overview so they can choose a new path to select. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to edit this question, my question page. And I'm going to go back down here to my jumps. So if they answered this one incorrectly, what I'm going to have it do is I'm going to have them go back to the executive branch page and review that again. So I'm going to set up executive branch for all my incorrect answers. If they answer the question correctly, I'm going to take them back to the main menu so they can select a new branch. Okay. Then I'll click Save, Redisplay, Save Page. Now what I can do on this page, since I've set a few things up, is I can go through here and make sure that I have all my jumps correct. Okay, so here I want to go, you can see right here, this one just says next page for executive branch. I want to go in and edit this page. And I want to make sure that this goes to the correct place, so I'll put executive branch. Save page. Okay, so this goes to the correct page now. Now you can see I haven't set up the pages for judicial branch and legislative branch yet. So what I can do is I can come down here and add a new branch table. And I'll call this one the legislative branch. Go out and grab my information on the legislative branch. Pop that into my page. Now again, at the bottom here, I want to have a way for them to get back to the beginning of the course, the main menu, or go and take the quiz for this particular one, which I don't have set up yet, and that's okay. Click Add a Branch Table, and that adds in the branch table for the legislative branch. And now I'm going to add one more branch table for the judicial branch. Go out and grab my information for the judicial branch. Paste that into my page. Again, giving them a way to go back to the main part or take the quiz. Now what I'll do here is I'm going to go back to my very first page, which is the main page right here, and I'm going to edit this one and put in the branches for judicial and legislative. So I'll scroll down here, and legislative branch right there, judicial branch right there. So now all of those are set up on my main page. I'll click Save Page. And now let me go ahead and look at this lesson. So this is what the students will see. Now I have enough of this set up that I can show you what it looks like. So here's what they see when they come in. They can play this little YouTube video if they want to and watch an overview of the 3 branches of government. And then I can scroll down and choose where I want to go. Now the executive branch is the only one that's completed, so I'll click executive branch. And that takes me here. I can read my information on the executive branch. I can go back to the main menu, or I can take my quiz. So I'll click executive branch quiz. And you can see right there that I have a broken link. So you always want to test your quiz. So what I'm going to do here, since I'm in there, is I'm just going to click edit on executive branch. Scroll down in my lesson. And right here, this is the page that I want to edit, so I'm going to click the update button right here and check my links. And sure enough, right here, this is incorrect. So I need to set this to executive branch quiz. Scroll down, click save page. Now I'll go back and preview again. Go to the executive branch. Scroll down, I'm going to take my quiz. This should take me to the quiz page now. There it is. So I select my answer. I'll start by selecting the correct answer, which is 4 years. Okay, it gives me my feedback right here. Excellent, please select a new section of study. I click continue. Takes me back to the main page where I can select a new branch to go down. But let me go down the executive branch again and select an incorrect answer so you can see what happens here. Go to my quiz. This time I'll select an incorrect answer. Tells me right here, 1 year. No, this is too short. Click continue. Takes me back to the executive branch page, and then I can take the quiz again. So what you would want to do to complete your lesson is you would do this same similar thing to each of the branches of your lesson, just making sure that every page that you add that has information on it is a branch table, and that your questions are question pages, and that you make sure that you check all of your links inside here. This is an excellent place to do it because you can see where each branch goes. So just making sure that you have all your branches connected. So it does take some time to put this together. You can see this is about 20 minutes right here, and I have one short branch of my lesson done. So the lesson can be very powerful, although it's kind of time-consuming to put one together. So I would suggest that you have your resources gathered before you start doing this. And also, it's a very good idea to flowchart your lesson before you start creating it. That way you know where each branch goes, and you can just complete one at a time, and then you have your branches done. So that's how you create lessons in Moodle.